Welcome back to another episode of Toogie Complains About the Weather, where it's another 90-plus degree day, and this room is hotter than most saunas in the Sahara. But also, welcome to the first episode of my Buffalo Bills franchise mode series. Now, as a Patriots fan, and yes, I'm a Patriots fan that's running a Bills series, there's a lot that I could say about Buffalo in a mocking manner. I could bring up the early 90s. I could bring up the fact that Rex Ryan was once your head coach, etc., etc. But much like with the Montreal Canadiens series I had on NHL 18, this series is more a matter of me caring about winning and less about whether or not I like the team. We're taking over a team that just snapped a 17-year playoff drought. We have our hopeful quarterback of the future with Josh Allen. There's some potential here. Now, curses don't normally care much for potential, but it is our job to finally bring success to the franchise. I want to say this ahead of time as well. I am using the franchise guy's updated rosters. At this stage, he has only edited some of the simpler things like getting trades up to date, and as far as overall editing, it's only been the quarterbacks thus far, so the overalls for some quarterbacks might seem a bit low, but I'm doing what I have to do, and at the very least I appreciate the work that he puts in. Another prime example of why I'd love roster sharing to be in the NHL series. And I will also say this: when the poll was made, with the video and everything, a common topic of discussion in the comments was whether or not I would move the team to Toronto. And simply put, I don't plan on doing that, but plans have changed in the past. For the moment, our future is here in Buffalo. What happens throughout the course of this series, though, we will see. Now, to get everything set up here, this is going to be more of a setup series. Let's go all pro simulation style. It's fine by me. Trade deadline's good. Trade type is, of course, good to go. Coach firing, we are going to be in owner mode for the sake of not having to worry about it, so we'll have it set to CPU only. I mean, as an owner, we're not going to have to worry about it to begin with. Relocation settings, I think I'm going to have it on everyone. Normally, I'd go users only, but if another team wants to move, why not? If the Rams can go back to Los Angeles, if we can have two teams in Los Angeles, then who knows? Maybe the Panthers move to Montana. I don't know. We'll see. It should be interesting. Pre-existing injuries will be on. Practice squad stealing, I think I'm still going to leave to on, although admittedly normally I turn it off to kind of treat it as a hockey-like minor league system. We'll have it set to on, and weekly player progression, we will go weekly. Now, as far as the quarter length, I think I'm going to go 15 minutes, but I might drop that. I'm not sure how much we're going to dip into this as far as gameplay is concerned, and if you're new to my channel, normally, as far as my franchise mode series go, I'm more about progression. I like to go 10, 15 years into a series as opposed to playing every single game. But for playoff games, we normally kind of jump into it and see what happens, which, of course, through Super Sim, we have the ability to do that for this series as well. When we make the playoffs, time will tell. Time will tell. Weekly training, I'm going to let the AI handle that for us. We'll handle trading and free agency, bidding, injury management, cut days, contract negotiations, scouting, and league advancement. Tutorials don't need you. Auto progress players, we will set that to on, so I don't have to worry about it. We'll just let the AI build up the players for in ways that they should, and we will turn that to off. Beautiful. We are good to go. Now, again, we do need to set up the role, of course. Let's go with a team owner. And do I just want to use, of course, they don't have the rights to Pagula. Richard Gibson, huh? Good old Dick Gibson. Yeah, we'll create a custom owner, and I just realized I should have just hit a different button and it would have been better. Former player, lifelong fan, well, that's a lie. So let's go ahead and be the old financial mogul. Get that set up, and we will be good to go. So again, the Bills did win the vote. We put it up to a vote. It was very close between Buffalo and the Minnesota Vikings. Unfortunately, you liked that. You just didn't like it enough. So I'm sorry to say that, but whoops, that is not what we meant to do. We are good to go. I am going to start in the preseason rather than week 1, just to give us the ability to go out and sign some free agents if we want to. And also, maybe we'll have a little bit of a competition. No guarantee that Josh Allen's going to be the guy that we go for, as I didn't have the ability. Did I have the ability to customize my guy? Because I didn't see the option. But you know what? That's okay. It's fine. We have our lovely coach, Mr. McDermott, there. We're good to go. We are good to go. And actually, as far as our team staff goes, who do we have aside from McDermott? We have Townsend as a scout, wide receiver specialty, level 10, and a trainer, level 21. All right, cool. Not that bad. So for the most part, this is going to be a very setup-heavy episode. We have a couple of things to address. And as a matter of fact, let's get a quick look at the team here, shall we? So again, quarterback-wise, we do have Josh Allen. Fingers crossed for quick development, and thankfully he has that. Whether or not he starts the season, though, not entirely sure. A.J. McCarron might have a decent enough preseason as to where we don't rush Josh Allen into the role. But obviously with the updated overalls, McCarron's down to a 66. It's not exactly an ideal situation. Running back-wise, we're looking good, though, with LaShawn McCoy. He is 30, so he's not going to be our long-term solution. And to be honest, it might not be the worst idea in the world to think about moving on from him sooner rather than later. If it's looking like we're not going to be a playoff team, it might be worth getting rid of him and looking to find his replacement in the upcoming draft. Fullback, of course, we're not concerned. Wideout, we're looking pretty good, though, with Kelvin Benjamin, Corey Coleman, of course, now on the roster as well, and Jeremy Curley. If Zay Jones can continue to develop, what's his development looking like? It's normal. So if he can continue to develop, we should be looking all right. But even in the immediate future, things are looking okay. Tight end-wise, we're good to go. Charles Clay at 29. I don't think that's anything we're going to have to immediately address, although the fact that we have 17,000 tight ends on this roster right now, we're going to have to make some adjustments there as far as some roster cuts go. Obviously, a couple of random free agents look to have been signed to fill out the roster. Obviously, we need work. I said at the start of this, there's potential. This roster obviously needs work, particularly on the offensive line. We don't need Allen calling it a career 2 years from now because this offensive line can't do anything for him. We have Kyle Williams at 35. If this season's going poorly, we'll definitely look to trade him before the deadline just to get something for him. Same for Lorenzo Alexander. Unfortunately for those two veterans at this point, I don't think you're going to be finding any success with us by the time we are ready to actually compete. If we're ever ready to compete, things could go terribly for us throughout this entire run. Who knows? Tough to say exactly what's going to go down. Free agent-wise, though, I want to take a look at the options that we have available. And, of course, it switched the triggers on you for no reason. So quarterback-wise, no better options. And as far as anybody, like potential-wise, they're going to be way too low of an overall for it to matter. So our two quarterbacks are the two that we have. Running back-wise, we're pretty much good to go. Maybe depending on what the roster ends up looking like, it might be worth bringing in, a Shane Vereen or even a Dark Law to kind of bump things up. But for the moment, I think we're looking all right. Fullback-wise, we're fine. Although, Freddie Stevenson, do you have quick development? You don't. We could technically get a slight improvement there with Stevenson. Wideout-wise, we also have some options. Now, how far we want to improve this, or by how much do we want to improve this team, is the biggest question that we have to answer. Do we want to just kind of, move along as is, keep the status quo, see where we end up, and then sell off from there, or add to the team if things are looking pretty good? Or do we just kind of plan to sell? Or do we buy? Do we try to pick up a Macklin, a Des Bryant, and Eric Decker, who of course should be on the Patriots, but I tried to add him roster-wise. It's just a massive pain in the ass because of the cap situation. So he is currently a free agent as well. We have some good options here to improve this team immediately. I'm just not sure if it's money that we want to spend at this point in time. Don't think I'll be bringing Richie Incognito back to Buffalo, though. Don't think I'm going to do that. But for the most part, we have options in which we could use to improve our team immediately. It's just whether or not that is the best option for us. And I got to admit, I think I am leaning towards status quo and just see how it goes. Sell, more than likely sell as we get closer to the deadline. Not to mention, I'm sure we're going to have some players looking for some big money moves, which is not really a part of the plan, unless they're a younger player that I could see being a part of the core moving forward. But as you can see, quite a few options that we could bring in to improve this team relatively quickly. It says with deep pockets, we have $30 million in funds, which really isn't a whole hell of a lot, all things considered. But I'd say that's our first big question, is just what approach do we take with this roster? As far as anything else goes, like finances, I can set all that up off video, I suppose. And as far as any staff changes go, who is available? Am I allowed to see available staff without outright firing anybody? Because I'd prefer to not have to. I'd prefer to not have to pay, just in case. There we go, available staff. I knew we could take a look. And Matt Hedrick, or Demetrius Turner, for that matter. We have some better coaches available, at least in terms of level, but maybe we should stay loyal to Sean McDermott. Give him an opportunity. Maybe give everybody an opportunity here, except for maybe the scout. Although regression, world class. I think we're gonna keep. McDermott. I think I'm gonna make that call already to look to improve the scouting and the trainers, or trainer in this instance. And we need O-line improvements. Seems to me like bringing in Wes York is a pretty good idea. Tony Dubb with a quarterback specialty. I think I'd rather go for the O-line improvements. So Wes York, buddy, how would you like to join this team? We're going to fire Andrew Townsend. And I think we're going to look to bring in Wes York as long as he is willing to accept. And he is. So there we go. Wes York, welcome aboard. And scouting-wise as well, Charles Turner. I'm sorry, it's not even a goatee. It's just, it's a beard. It's a beard, but I'm sorry. You gots to go. And we're going to probably bring in Dan Winters or Ryan Glukowski, who looks like he's having himself a great day. I'm going to bring in Dan Winters. Why not? Let's bring in the best available. And we're looking okay. Sean McDermott, I'm going to stay loyal to you for the moment. Can't imagine we'd have any upgrade packages available. So we are looking good. Like I said, now it's just a matter of whether or not we want to bring in any of that help that is available to us now on the free agent list, and just how crazy do we want to be. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to bring Richie Incognito back. We could for the year. It'd be a little bit weird. Let's be honest. There's still a little bit of a reputation that old Richie Incognito has. Although, in fairness, nope, I'm not going to get into that conversation. I'm not. With everything that happened, I'm not. We can bring him back. Maybe. I don't know. Kind of up to you guys. Actually, let's take a quick look here, though. Mainly at running back, because who is our backup right now? I've completely blanked on who our backup is. Yeah, we don't need Shane Vereen. We have Chris Ivory. To be honest, yeah, we're good to go. As it is, we're going to have to get rid of at least two of these guys anyway. Probably looking at getting rid of, Jones or Cadet, keeping, maybe we could keep Marcus Murphy. He's not making that much, though. That much less than the other two. We'll sort that out. Wideout-wise, we're good to go. I'm still on the side of thinking that we're good to go. I really am. The biggest improvements, of course, could come on the offensive line. Actually, let's take a look. Dawkins, quick development, normal development, but he's still probably our best bet, even with the free agent list. John Miller, yikes. Yeah, Incognito would actually work quite well there. He really would. Russell Bodine, do you have quick development? You do not. Yeah, we need to focus on the offensive line. I think that goes without saying. First and foremost, that is our number one priority. That said, again, if we get rid of guys like Kyle Williams and Alexander defensively, we're going to really need to deliver in this first draft. And that brings me to the other big question of the episode. Not only how we want to approach the players available on the free agent list, but whether or not we also want to import the franchise guys' custom draft class, which is, of course, more of a realistic draft class for players that are going to be around. Whether or not we want to implement that. I have used it on Twitch, so I kind of have an idea of what players are worth going after, but it would also be a combination of those players and computer-generated players, so it wouldn't necessarily play out or pan out the same way that it did for me in the franchise series I'm running on Twitch with the Detroit Lions. So let me know what you think of those two really big decisions that we need to decide right now. For year one, free agency, what direction do we want to take? Do we just want to leave the team as is, maybe sign a couple of players, go all out, and just see where it takes us? And what do you guys think about using the custom draft class? Do we want to do that, or just hold off and go with a completely computer-generated draft class? With that, I am going to end things a little bit early. Like I said, it's a bit of a setup episode, but I'm kind of trying to gauge interest here for how you guys think we should handle things moving forward as we get ready for Season 1 with the Buffalo Bills. So thank you very much for watching. Looking forward to your feedback down in the comments below, your suggestions as far as how we should handle this series. And in the next episode, we're going to really start getting in to the regular season. We'll get the roster set, and we'll probably sim up closer to the trade deadline. At that point, of course, we will know whether or not we're going to look to buy or more than likely sell. But it's the beginning of a new journey. Last year, I brought the Cleveland Browns to glory somehow on Twitch, and now we're here on YouTube with the Bills series. If I can bring Cleveland a title, then damn it, I'd like to think I can bring Buffalo a title, but I've been wrong before. Thank you for watching. You know the deal. All the YouTubers tell you to do it. All of them, including me. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and click the notification bell. Do it! Or 17 years bad luck, and you'll get... something will haunt you for all of those years, too. And something will appear under your bed, or whatever the hell. Memes. Stupid, just shitty memes. I don't know where I'm going with this. Memes, Buffalo, memes. Thank you. Goodbye for now.